I'd like to introduce our speaker, Sarah Samson. Sarah is a dynamic sales and Indigenous relations leader with extensive experience building strong partnerships between businesses and First Nation communities. In her capacity as the Business and Indigenous Relations Manager at Sling Academy, Sarah combines her deep cultural knowledge, safety training background, and sales acumen to drive revenue growth and sustainable community engagement. With over 17 years of experience in the training and safety sector, Sarah has successfully led sales initiatives, negotiated long-term vendor agreements, and developed culturally informed training programs specifically tailored for Indigenous workforces. Her strategic approach to business development centers on trust-based relationships, ensuring that training solutions align with both operational needs and community values. She holds a bachelor's degree in law. Sarah has a foundation in governance, compliance, and community advocacy. Skills she applies daily in her sales and partnership efforts. Her ability to navigate between corporate goals and community-driven values makes her a unique, effective leader in developing long-term, mutual beneficial relationships. Sarah's passion for reconciliation, community development, and business growth drives her mission to build bridges between companies and Indigenous companies through meaningful, respectful, and profitable partnerships. I've had the pleasure of seeing Sarah do some sales calls in person and over the phone. And honestly, she's wonderful, which is why we thought of her for this webinar today. So without further ado, welcome, Sarah. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and you can take over.
Thank you so much, Melissa. And thank you for everyone for joining. I won't take so much of your time. I put together a little PowerPoint. I'm just going to share my screen now with you guys. Everyone can see it?
Looks good.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. So results-driven sales strategies by Sarah Samson. A little overview of some of the key topics I'm going to go over is strengthen relationships, enhance digital selling, strengthen sales and operations alignment, align pricing with market needs, optimize lead generation and prospecting, focus on reputation, trust, and thought leadership. So when we talk about strengthen relationships, especially if it's a new company, if it's a company that's been around for a long time, you really want to prioritize long-term partnerships over one-off kind of transactions. And what I mean by that is you want to spend the time with your customer and know it's not a sale right away. You build that relationship throughout. It could be a week, it could be like 2 years till you make that kind of final sale. You want to implement a client check-ins and account reviews. So you want to see what's up to date with your clients. You want to know what's going on with them. If there's any like major layoffs happening, new products that they're selling, all of that stuff. You want to develop personalized solutions tailored to each client needs. So based on what product you are selling and the solution-based stuff you are doing, each client's needs are going to differ. So for example, from a manufacturing side, when you're selling more of a tangible product versus a service, you want to make sure that you can kind of implement both of them together and really hear what the client needs basically are. You want to do a little bit more active listening than talking, let's say. Use of a CRM to track touch points and keep relationships warm. I'm a huge promoter of using a CRM. So your clients, so you can keep track of everything that's going on. So there's different types of CRMs you can use. I'm more prone to using Salesforce. Not only can you track your follow-ups, but you can track your forecasting. You can track everything from, your quoting, when to follow up, so on and so forth. I'll be going over a little bit more in depth about CRMs and use of that on one of my next slides. Enhance digital selling. So those that may know me know that I'm not very great in the marketing and digital world. I know Melissa knows that too. So you really want to work on, if you're not good at your digital marketing, digital selling, any of that. I see Sheena laughing. She's my coworker. You really want to strengthen your online presence. So if you can't do it, have another coworker, maybe the marketing department help with that. even doing your own personal online presence, like using LinkedIn, different types of social media. Some people use Facebook, they can use Instagram. I guess TikTok. I don't really use that personally. I use it mostly for LinkedIn, but definitely highlighting your company, but also yourself. Because in reality, people do buy from people. So leveraging social media strategically. So this could be, again, using the social marketing tools to enhance, like, advertise a new product, a new service, so on and so forth, but also using it to see what your customers are doing. I've done that a lot within experience with working with along the lines of different companies and looking to see what your customers are doing. What events are they going to? What new products are they offering and they're selling that you can approach them and congratulate them on some kind of milestone. It could be anything of the sort on that front. Optimize digital outreach. So again, using those social media tools to maybe, like someone's post, like, making comments, congratulating them. It's not a sale all the time. It's about that relationship building that you can use. So strengthen sales and operations alignment. This is definitely something that I'm a true supporter of. Reason is you can sell all the things in the world, but if you don't have the support from your operations, you don't have, maybe the product in stock, then you're going to lose the trust and you're just, you can't sell what you don't have, kind of idea. So within my experience working for many different, I'd say about maybe the last like 4 different companies I've worked for, is definitely create a shared forecasting and scheduling process. So because I come from a lot on the service type of sales, bringing up to your operations staff about typical, like, the forecasting, which big mine site is, maybe it could be new development. It could be the talks that you're having with different companies. You really want to have that forecasting and scheduling process discussed with your operations team to make sure that it's on point, it's online, and you can grow that much better. Create a standard handover process. In my current role, I had created like a sales to operation process, which really clearly defines the roles of the sales, your operations, your admin, so on and so forth. So I find that to be extremely beneficial because everyone knows kind of, what lane they're in, but also to help the team. Celebrate wins together. Definitely with celebrating wins together, this is something that it, one, like, I guess 5 is better than 2. 10 is better than, 3. Celebrating the wins together. This could be from your trainer perspective. This could be from maybe a manager, maybe someone in shipping and receiving. At the end of the day, team alignment as well as celebrating wins together, encouragement is definitely huge. Within this role I have right now, we would get kind of customer feedbacks. There was this one large mine site that had wrote this amazing story about the instructor, about how helpful they were, knowledgeable, how without a doubt you'll get referrals from us, all of that, and sharing with the team to really highlight a team member that does really good. Develop sales and different types of materials. So as I talked about, like a case study, so you'll get referrals, you'll get emails, you'll get certain stuff from customers, and it could be from you as that salesperson, maybe with someone at the front desk, the admin staff, a trainer, any of that. But really putting that together and showcasing it back on social media and being able to talk to your customers about that. Even like working on developing videos, social media again, showcasing a product, a service. About a couple months ago, Sling Choker had celebrated their 50th anniversary, which is a huge accomplishment for Sling Choker. We had created different types of videos to showcase all the new additions that we had done within the organization, and it's really taken us that much further. So use unified messaging across all like client touch points. And kind of what I mean by that is having what your trainers say or your staff say, your sales say. It's unified messaging. It's unified marketing all across the board. It's brand awareness as well. That is definitely key on that front. So that's always helped well. So align pricing with market needs. When I was talking with Melissa, I was trying to figure out what's the audience going to be coming from. So this could be like new entrepreneurs. It could be people that's been doing this for a while. So aligning pricing with market needs. So whether it's a new business, whether you're starting off on your own, whether it's a company that's been around for a very long time, you really want to understand your market, what they actually value. So in this case, when I guess understanding your market values is doing your research on your company, on your clients, on potential clients, so on and so forth. So really figuring out, what their values, what their needs are. Research competitor pricing, but definitely don't copy them, right? So when opening up a new market or an existing one, you really want to know what your competitors are doing. Tools like researching their website, following them on social media, figuring out what they do and how you can do things better. In the past, creating just like Excel sheets, talking within your potential clients or existing clients to see, what is out there. That really definitely does help when closing sales. So make pricing easy to understand. What I mean by this is, maybe where you work right now, or maybe it's a new development and stuff like that, but you want to make sure you don't overcomplicate when you're quoting. You don't want to overcomplicate when you're explaining, pricing and stuff like that to a customer. I've had it one time where one customer actually was going to go to one of our competitors because they thought it was like double the price because the clarity price was not there. So how to kind of fix that would be asking maybe a coworker, someone else to review it before sending off. That can always help, but always doing your follow-up too to make sure that it is easy to understand. Sometimes even just making a phone call, a site visit, maybe like a Teams call too would work. So just making sure they really understand. Communicate the way behind your pricing. So again, you can always put in, if it's a service or if it's a product, it could be a little bit more detailed in the sense of, XYZ is at this price because of, dot, dot, dot. That's not really a good example. So I can give maybe something that I've used in the past. So when selling a service, I would explain in great detail that due to weather, it may the price may increase for extra travel, extra so on and so forth, kind of that way behind it. And add the proof that supports your price. And this could be accreditations. This could be specific type of memberships you belong to. This could be certifications that maybe some of the service people have behind them, so on and so forth. So optimize lead generation and prospecting. So again, I'm always going back to social media in the front. So you really want to strengthen your LinkedIn prospecting and target outreach. So this again is your own personal, but also for the company to have their own presence on social media. Referral programs and initiatives. So when opening up in a new market or an existing market, offering, it could be simple things like, spend X amount of dollars on this item, and then you get 2 maybe training sessions for free. So, people always like to get free things, even customers, right? So The referral program is always asking for more, asking, if this company buys it, do they know anybody else that might be interested as well? That's happened to me a couple times in the past. So you can even run segmented email campaigns by industry or job role. There was one CRM that I had used in the past called Active Campaign, and they just kind of send out like a generic email. It could be about a webinar, it could be about certain product, and having that cycle through. That's an idea on that front, or even just sending one mass email about something that a new product. It could be a new training session, something like that that you can kind of just send off to your customers, because the more point of contacts that you have with them, the better chances you are in closing maybe a deal or optimizing on a new client. Use social proof, testimonials, stats, case studies. All of that is going to definitely be beneficial. So taking pictures of your product, explaining how it differs, definitely using social media, social media, social media. Can't explain or stress that enough for all you new and experienced people. Sorry. Focus on reputation, trust, and thought leadership. Definitely you want to be visible with your expertise. So this could be, maybe you're new to sales, but you have this amazing new CRM product, some kind of new technology that you're bringing forward. So you have the expertise in it, but how do you go and sell it, right? So using social media again, booking those calls, maybe you randomly talk to someone. Like I'm a mom of two boys, and randomly talking to people at like a football meet, skiing meet, all that kind of stuff, and just really talking to people and figuring out how to sell them on that front. So again, educate, but don't try to push the sale right away. Again, people buy from people, but you kind of a fine line between going, grabbing the sale, and really not focusing on their needs, and just explain what you do from the first. More of a warm sale approach. You can use social proof everywhere. So back to all the social media posts, build partnerships with trusted organizations, which you're going to find definitely, like, as you grow, or even as maybe you're outgrowing the company you're working at right now. If you can't do it, finding other companies that maybe you could partner with to fulfill that customer needs. So as many salespeople hate the word no, you can say, I can refer you to this, or make a partnership with another company, and then be able to really service that customer. That shows good faith for many. Maintain consistency. This is like the secret ingredient. Definitely all of the follow-up, making sure when you talk about consistency, so it's with your sales approach, but also with the product you're selling. You believe in your product you're selling, make sure that it is consistent with what the customer needs. And it could be from a service, from a product, ensuring that you're compliant, and all of that on that front. It's a short little PowerPoint, but I know Melissa had some questions for me that I can go into detail with. I'm gonna
Yes.
stop sharing.
Thank you so much, Sarah. So we do have, so the second half of this webinar is going to be some questions. We do prepare some questions, sort of like interview style, and then we'll open up questions to everybody here. So please feel free to type your questions in the chat. One question I had, I know I sent you a list, Sarah, but you kind of touched on this, is like when someone says no, right? You're like, well, what else can I sell you? Like something else I can refer you to. How persistent are you with when someone says no? When do you stop?
When do I stop? Well, for me, no, it just means not now. So there is a fine line between being way too persistent, maybe aggressive, annoying, all of that. Just being real with the customer. If they say no, not interested right now, Um, I like to always use more, I guess it's like indirect questions. So if it's they're not ready for it right now, and say, well, why don't I touch base with you in 2 months from now?
Mhm.
Or when is a better time to follow up regarding XYZ, or on that front. So it's definitely in sales, you got to be ready for rejection for sure. And I think that makes you stronger. And again, no just means not right now. And then within that, I kind of leave it to the customer, because you don't want to call them every 3 days. Like that's very
Mhm.
annoying, you know? Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And another side question I had was, I've seen in the past like a hot lead or a lead is going cold. Like, how do you determine what's a hot lead and when a lead is going cold?
That's another really good question. So, with some of my, you can know a lead's going cold when you're just not getting through to them. So this could be after attempts of calls, meetings, drop-ins. Sometimes they just say like, you know, um, yeah, I don't even know how to answer that. Let's see. When a lead is going cold, when they're just not falling back up with you. You really want to focus your time on what you can do, and stop. I've had actually one customer before, had called when I worked at this other place, and they said, please get Sarah to stop calling. When we're ready, we're going to call. And I was like, hey, took it as like, it's going cold, it's sour, it's, all of that. But funny enough, a week later they called and I booked a bunch of services, like a bunch of training with them. They remembered, but they said, so yeah,
They just needed that week.
they just need that week, but they remember who to call after, right? So you just got,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you go about starting sales when you've got a brand new business?
I think really defining exactly what you're selling. So the problem, the product, who needs it, on that front. You want to do that. You want to know your ideal customer. So the industry, you want to know who, the person that you need to speak to. Is it the person at the front? Is it, it could be procurement. Maybe it's in health and safety. Maybe it's, the manager, the owner. You got to really figure that out. I always find making friends with the people at the front is the best way, because then they'll let you know, right? They know you
Right.
by name. They'll be like, oh, that person is, but they're going to be in this day, kind of thing. I think really starting with your warm network. I'd say if it's a new company, you're starting off, you can use friends, maybe past colleagues, starting that off, asking for referrals, doing a lot of research on that front too. That would help. Actively always talk about what you do. You could be at the grocery store. I mentioned when I take my kids to their football practice, all of that. Talking to the other parents, always like my mom friends, right? Like, oh, you work here. I'm like, oh, I've been meaning to call you guys, that kind of stuff. So, um, there a lot of the time as well. So I always stress this is definitely when beginning the stages of selling in a brand new business, follow up, follow up, follow up. Couldn't stress this enough. Jokingly, where I work right now, I mean, a bunch of my coworkers, I call this phrase like dialing for dollars, and they just tend to laugh hysterically about it. But really getting yourself out there, um, the follow up, and then it turns into bigger things after all, for sure. So I always say too, like with a new company, with a new brand in your business, start small, deliver excellence, and results will happen.
Mhm. For sure. Great advice. I hope people are taking notes because that was that was a lot of information in one answer. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So how does someone who's maybe more reserved or shy go about selling?
I love this question. Um, I love it because, believe it or not, I was extremely shy. as a kid. Then I outgrew it in a way, obviously. But I think shy people actually must make the best salespeople. They're the ones that more actively listen and they're really listening and taking care, like listening to their customer needs. There's nothing worse than even when people are trying to sell me stuff, right? Nothing worse than an overtalker. Someone that overtalks over you. You're not really having that time to listen. Um, I kind of just like, hey, I just don't have time for you, like, click kind of thing. So um, I think starting small by, when you're a little shy and timid, maybe even starting off with an intro email. And then it's just in writing, and then you're going to get yourself out there. I think by really trying to put yourself out there by going to like social events could help. And if you are shy, bring a coworker, bring a friend, bring a partner, bring a spouse, bring some, if you don't want to do these things on your own, that can really help
That's
no
great
matter your
advice.
show.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Certainly. Okay, so and I see some questions coming, which is wonderful. We're just gonna go through a few more questions and then we'll open it up to the guest question or the questions from our viewers. Okay, so how does selling products differ from selling a service?
Good one too. Well, products are tangible. Services, so they're not. It usually takes a lot longer to sell a service, in my opinion, than a product. Because a product is something quick that a customer sees uh, what's that word? Sees like value right away, I guess, right? They have it, they got it. When you're selling a service, it could take a little bit longer. So, in one of my past, when I was in consulting, actually, it took a lot longer to sell service because it wasn't tangible. It wasn't like satisfaction right away. It was more within time. This is going to help um, your company over time on services. So I don't really know if that answered it, but
Okay, so like just taking your time with selling a service takes a bit
yeah, it's more
longer.
time. Yeah,
Yeah. Would you say more follow-ups too?
definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably it could be anywhere from like a week to maybe even a year.
Yeah. Especially if you're selling a big service, right?
Yes.
Um, are there any digital tools that can help with sales and client management? I know you mentioned one, but any
Oh
other
yes, with
tools?
the CRMs. Yes. So in my past working consulting, I worked for a great organization, and they were heavy in AI tools. I've learned so much, and especially because I'm not computer savvy myself. So if I can use it, I like anyone, any of our viewers can definitely use it and learn it. So 100% of CRM. Definitely, you want to track your sales. You want to track your follow-ups. Be on top of things. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Cannot stress that enough. Um, so some of the CRMs I've used, Zoho, Active Campaign, I've used Monday.com and Salesforce. Me personally, I love the Salesforce CRM. I find it way user friendly. I like the apps on it. I like how it can project your forecasted sales from the next 3 months to, I guess you could say like the next year and stuff like that. So definitely using a CRM is huge. The other digital tools that I've used as well is Notebook LM. So with Notebook LM, I'm sure Melissa, maybe you could send it to the viewers, like some of the stuff or I could send it to you. You could send it off to them to use these tools. But Notebook LM was amazing at comparing everything from different companies. So you have, I wanted to know about XYZ company, and I wanted sales techniques to sell from like what my product I'm selling. You throw it in the two websites, they'll tell you everything about the company, about your services, and how to sell it. It's kind of a no-brainer. I kind of forgot about that until you brought it up. I should use it again. Um, the other thing that's really cool about Notebook LM is they have when putting like their website in, they actually do oh my God, I can't even think of it. What's that word? Podcast. They'll create a podcast for you. So especially with the role I'm in now, office, travel lots, I don't have time to research, to read. And so I could put in a podcast when I'm driving to that customer site and I'll know exactly, everything up and coming that either the client's doing, what the company's doing. And then, it just shows that you're way more prepared before going to like a client meeting or learning on that front. So definitely Notebook LM. I've used Otter as well. So Otter, when doing, it could be like a Teams call. It could be, I guess, even in person. So using Otter really kind of helps and actually kind of helps me create quotes. So it captures what I'm saying, what the client's saying, could be from another, whoever's present in the meeting, and give you like keynotes, even help you write a proposal. So that's really cool to use too. That's Otter.
Amazing, amazing. I really love the audio version of notes so that you can kind of learn about a customer before you meet with them, especially if you're traveling distances. So that's really
Mhm.
neat. Yeah, great. And then my final question before we move to our guest questions is if you could give an entrepreneur one piece of advice regarding sales, what would it be?
So one piece of advice for sales. Okay, so I think if you're new at sales, constant follow up beats your talent, your confidence 100% over time. So um, just remember too, rejection, everyone's going to get rejected. You get tougher skin from it too. So you really want to remember that consistent follow up, but watch that fine line between annoyance and too pushy. Um, Follow up, really understanding your client, and just know the first contact, second contact, third contact. Um, don't don't just think about the sale, think about the person. Actually do active listening and listen to their needs. That's what I recommend.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Oh, you're
That's
welcome.
great advice. Okay, so we do have a few questions in here. We have a question from Jeff. I'm just going to go ahead and read it. Tips for B2C, so selling as a business to consumers as a service. Service as a product. High ticket, trying to get executives as a customer avatar. Do you have any tips from selling as a business to consumers, right? As a product.
Is
High
it
ticket.
product? Jeff?
So Jeff doesn't
Uh,
have the ability to like speak, but Jeff,
okay.
Jeff, if you want to type in like a few more details about that question, just so we understand it a bit better, I'll just move on to the next question
Great. It's a great
until
question, Jeff. It is. I just want to,
understand it a bit more. Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Okay, so from Dave, 7 times, 7 different ways. She's right. No simply means sorry. No simply means not now. We all have moments of being goldfish in one ear out the other. We provide value with consistency and build trust with each touch. Well, that's beautifully said, Dave. I sometimes feel like I am that goldfish. Um, okay, I'm just looking over. Dave also wrote another message. I don't believe it's a question though. Handshake. Okay, so he talks about we're social creatures by design, face-to-face matters. If COVID taught us anything online, is collaboration only gets us so far. A handshake and eye contact still holds its weight, even in this technology-driven environment we are in. On that note, Sarah,
Mhm.
how would you say like in-person events or in-person contact in sales, does that really change the way like a sale goes?
I think so. I think Dave's really on point for sure. Definitely during COVID, yeah, we've, adapted, right? More teams, more uh, phone calls, work from home, all of that. But I do find by going to social events, like it could be, so I come from a lot of like the mining construction industry, right? So going to golf tournaments, taking your clients out. Just recently I took one of the First Nations to a fantastic Sudbury Wolves game. And just had a lot of fun, really getting to know people for who they are, getting to know your clients. Definitely, Yeah, face to face really helps. Yeah, he's right in that.
Mhm. Great. And got clarification from Jeff. Tips for entering into the world of business executives as a customer avatar for service business, high ticket coaching. Okay, so I think Jeff is looking to sell to executives, right? So high-end customers. How do you get into that market?
Okay. So business executives, you got to put yourself out there. So again, like I don't know if it's like IT you're trying to sell, Jeff, but knowing where your customers are going to go and go to those, big social events, golf tournaments, all of that, that's where you're going to see a lot more of your executives to sell to. Sometimes, again, like how I mentioned, becoming friends with their secretary, their admin staff, doing the research on the company or even on the client itself, getting to know kind of, where they're situated. I think that's how you're going to get in with your high.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I totally I love the becoming friends with the secretary or the front person, right? I think that that's
Mhm.
such a great point, right? Because if they are controlling that executive's schedule, they're gonna pop you in
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah, exactly.
fair enough. Okay, I don't see any more questions in the chat, but again, big thank you, Sarah, for the webinar today. Very appreciated.
Oh, you're very
Sales
welcome.
is a big touch point for a lot of entrepreneurs who, like you mentioned, right, are really good at what they do, but sometimes don't
Mhm.
know how to sell, right? How to sell it. So thank you again. For everybody else, we're going to be putting this recording on our website and on our YouTube page as well. So feel free to share it with anybody who missed the conversation today. So thank you so
Perfect.
much. Okay,
Great.
take
Thank
care,
you, guys.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.